What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, this morning I want to give you an update on what's happening with Solana's price, because once this thing happens, something big is on the way, and I want you to be very, very prepared for it. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into it. Now, guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade some Solana on up to 50x leverage without needing the KYC, meaning you don't give over any of your personal information, use my Margex link down in the description below. Guys, once you do sign up, you are also going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses. So, of course, take advantage of that. Only available with my link down to Margex down below. Now, what's happening with Solana? Okay, what's happening with Solana? Well, in the last video on Solana, I told you all that we're in a damn good spot for Sol. You know what I mean? I said, listen, one of two things is going to happen. Either Solana's price is going to break above this $162 level, and that opens up the door for us to push back up towards $180 to $200. Okay, that's option one. Option number two is Solana's price is going to start to pull back to the downside. If Solana's price pulls back to the downside, I still think it's bullish because it opens up the door for the cup and handle or the inverse head and shoulders pattern to be printed in, which I think has a very high chance of happening. And even in an instance like that, we still have the opportunity to break to the upside. So almost no matter what Solana does, I think that we're in a good spot. So of course, as a result of that, we have been watching just to see what happened at 162. Are we going to be rejected by it, or are we going to push up through it? And we are starting to get some developments on the shorter time frames that are giving us some clues as to what could happen very soon, or at least how we can become even more prepared for, when this move does happen and how to identify what is happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to be focusing in on this little zone right here between this red box of support and this red resistance zone. And we're going to be zooming in on the 4-hour charts to get a deeper look into it. Now, guys, I will also remind you, I did post a video on my second channel a couple days ago, like 2 days ago now, on Solana, going over some of the news and the fundamental side of things. So make sure you do go check that out in the description below if that's something that interests you, getting a little extra Solana content. But what we can see here is that when we do zoom Solana's price in on the hourlies, we're getting a pretty clear picture. Solana has now created a range, and I love ranges. You know the reason I love ranges? The reason I love ranges is because it gives you an easily identifiable breakout. What I mean by that is, currently speaking, we have a key point of resistance, obviously, from establishment 1 and 2 right here at $162, and we have clear zone of support, whereas we've been building up some support right here, which makes a ton of sense, right? We had this point of resistance right here, we had this point of resistance right here, we broke above it, so now we're trying to build support on top of it. That's called an RS flip, and it's very bullish if you can successfully do it. And so as a result of us having this resistance to the top side and this support to the bottom side, we have now created a distinguishable and easily to identify range that realistically is going to tell us everything that we need to know for Solana going forward. So let me tell you what I'm doing. What I'm doing at this given point is I'm not going to be doing any purchasing on Solana. I'm not going to be doing anything whatsoever while we're in this range. If we break to the bottom side of this range, and the bottom side of this range is $152. If Solana's price loses $152, there's a substantial chance that we see it fall back towards this $144, $145 level to retest some of this liquidity back here. You have all of this support, and I do think that is the rough direction in which Solana's price would try to go. Now, again, at the end of the day, that's not a bad thing. Why? Because if it does pull back to even as low as $135, guys, remember, it opens up the door for this massive bullish structure, which could push us way higher than $180. And so overall, if we do see in the short term Solana's price start to pull back to the downside, I think that we could fall, what percent is that? I think that has to be about 4 or 5%. A little bit closer to like 7 or 8%, right? 6, 7, 8% towards the downside to try to find some liquidity, find some support around this previous point of liquidity, and try to make that move back to the upside. That's my anticipation. Now, if Solana's price does break to the upside, guys, which I think there's a decent chance that it does this, right? If it does break to the upside, I am going to continue to do my little dollar cost averages. I've told you, as we are making trek and progress towards this green zone, I'm going to be doing a little bit buying on the way up. And so, of course, as a result of that, if Solana's capable of breaking through this previous point of massive resistance, sure, I'll go ahead and do a little purchase on some Solana, expecting that we will try to continue to make this move of, another 15 to 20% to the upside to try to get back to our green zone. So overall, this is the reason why I love ranges so much, because they make it easy. You have a clearly identifiable breakout target to the top side and a clearly identifiable breakout target to the bottom side, and you just sit back, wait, and watch to see what happens. Now, I will say that we are starting to get some early signs of bullish divergence here on the 4-hour charts for Solana. The way in which you can identify that is by simply just seeing that we have been putting equivalent lows in right here and consistent lower lows on this 4-hour RSI. And so in a moment, moment, you know, this is even a higher low, you know, higher low, lower low. It just goes to show that your relative strength index is resetting, although its price is still consolidating. And historically, that opens up a door for crypto to try to make another run to the upside. So overall, I guess we'll just sit back, wait and watch and see what happens. Guys, if you do want a little bit more from me, of course, my trades, my portfolio, daily technical analysis, daily news, daily fundamental analysis, access to my videos, access to me, and much more, feel free to go check out the Patreon down below. This is for my second channel, but it's still me at the end of the day. So make sure you do check that out. And don't forget to have that affiliate link to Margix down there and a link to my second channel link for you below. So take a little trip to the description and go check out some of those links. And I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.